And we're live. Okay. Tonight we start part one of the Business Hangout app training. I asked for a little homework to be done, showing what we're going to be doing and reading the manual part of it. The first thing I'm going to try and do is do a screen share here. John, I'm going to pin you while. Oh, wait a minute. I messed up and got out of Business Hangout trying to pin you. I'm so brilliant. I scare myself sometimes.
I'm so glad I'm not the only person that does that.
And no, you believe me, you're not the only person that does that. Okay. Now, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Is it big enough? You can read it now?
Yep.
Okay.
Could be bigger for me, but
yeah, I would like it bigger too.
Okay, let me see if I can increase. How's that? Is that bigger? It's increasing
No,
okay, it's increasing everything except the screen share itself. But I tell you what, you can follow along if you go down to the left-hand corner and you hit the About or the Account button down there at the bottom, it's going to bring up this screen. That's the first screen in your account thing, where it says My Event Pages.
Where's Account at?
It should be in the lower left-hand corner, or am I the only one that has it?
Yeah, I have Help and About.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm the only one that
Yeah,
has it.
Andrew, if you want to access it and you're not hosting the Hangout, you have to go to Planner.
Right.
Then it'll give you your account.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can click on Planner and then go down to the bottom left corner and you'll see Account, and you click on that, like right here, and it'll show that screen where it says Profile. And so this is mainly what we're going to do. And now this is not about setting up the Hangout as such. This is about planning to start setting up the Hangout. I know in various other training materials, they start with plan a Hangout, enter the date, enter the time sheet, how easy this is, boom, 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 boom. And then they mention these things along the way. My feeling is you should have all the setup done before you even enter your date and time. When you know you're going to be doing a Hangout, then you need to start thinking about what does my banner look like? What colors do I want? What should my logo look like? What lower third am I going to have? Do I want that same lower third applied to other people as they come in, or do I allow them to use their own? That's what we're going to be covering on this page. The other part of setting up the date, the time, all that, that's pretty self-explanatory. We'll go into that, but the meat of tonight is going to be this, like my background image. Okay, you know they changed it. It's now a huge image. The first thing that was mentioned, size that was mentioned, was 2980 by 1463. If you hover over the little question mark, you'll see that they're now suggesting a background image of 2800 by 1000. Now, all of this is done to make it easier on the mobile so that it will be responsive when you get into the smaller screen sizes, so things will move around and still look nice. No matter how you lay your screen out, you are not going to know what your viewers are seeing because you don't know what screens they're on, you don't know what resolutions their monitors are. It can look perfect on yours, it'll still tends to look pretty crappy on theirs, depending on how they've got their situation set up and how you have designed your artwork. I would suggest the background image be dark. There is a way to import a logo, so I would not put any actual images on the background itself unless they were very small, because when you start shrinking the screen in, that image is not going to move. It's going to stay wherever it is on the background. Whereas if you import your logo, it will move with the screen. As the screen gets smaller, it'll move over. Your logo, they are suggesting a size of 150 by 150, 200 by 200, or 300 by 300. There are no set sizes anymore. There are suggested sizes, but you almost have to, depending on what artwork you're going to be using, what logo you're going to be using, you almost have to play with it individually to get what you want. Your color for your logo, you can set for your background image. Your logo, that is a separate image that you design that can have its own background color and everything. The email images, the logo. If you look at the email you get when the letters come out, you'll see two images on there. One is in the top left-hand corner, right? The default says Business Hangouts, in their green thing. And then over on the right-hand side, there is like a circle with a green check mark or a finger with a string tied around it if it's a reminder email. That top logo is 45 by 178. The check mark or finger reminder logo is 87 by 87. You can use any color you want. That's no big thing. The lower third, my static image, that is the lower third that you want for yourself. Okay. They can be up to 1280 by 720. If they are that large, you want it to be a PNG file. In fact, your logo, you pretty much, your lower third, you want to be PNG file. I don't deal with lower thirds particularly anymore. I go for the whole custom transparent overlay. That way I can put images on the bottom or on the side or above my head or wherever I want them. I'm not limited to just that stretch along the bottom of the picture. The participants template. Here you can assign templates for the people that come into your Hangout. Just like tonight, when you came in, I've got it set so that if you don't come in with a lower third, this Hangout will assign you a standard lower third based on what I designed. If you come in with your own lower third, it won't override it. It lets you use your lower third, but you've got a choice. You can use either one. The default template, there you can download a template to design the lower third. It's a Pixlr template, and if you want to know how to use Pixlr, Terry Lou Britton has got a lovely site that'll show you all the ins and outs of templates. He usually does a Pixlr thing in his Sunday variety show, but he's got every template you will ever need for any social media over on that website of his. It's amazing. So if you need help designing, give us a yell. We can help you do that. The comments background image. This is important. That is the background that shows when you bring something to the screen. If you put something here, that will be your background image for every single Hangout you do. You will not be able to change it per event unless you change it here. Now, when you're setting up the event, you can choose a background image for the event. you can choose the logo for a specific event, and that will override what is in here. If you don't specify, you'll get these defaults. On the custom comments background image, this is the default and the only place you can change it. So if you're, like in my case, I've got the user, and I've got my nonprofit organization. Okay? On the user, when I bring comments to screen, I want a little image on that comments background that says user. But if I'm holding a thing for my nonprofit, I do not want that showing up on the comments background that'll pull up if I'm holding a meeting for that organization. I want them to have a separate comment background. So I've got to remember, before I start that event, I have to come over here and change that comment background image to what their image should be. And last but not least, very last line, you get a choice. You can use the new or you can use the old setup, depending on which you choose right at the bottom. Now I'm going to stop sharing and see if anybody's got any questions.
I have one question, and
Okay.
that's I accidentally come in with my lower third up, and I see that it's for some reason not overriding the generic one.
Okay, well, what happens is if you don't come in with one, it'll assign the generic that I've designed. But then when you activate yours, it won't take mine off. So what you need to do is you go up, and there's a gear wheel by your name up in the participants. There's a gear wheel and a camera. If you click on the gear wheel, it'll say lower third on or off. You can say off, and it will take the one that this assigned away, just leave yours. Do you see it, Bill? You've muted.
I don't see it. No,
Okay, go. You know where the invite chat is, right over beside it, between it and the video screen, there's a list of participants and viewers.
well, this is where I don't seem to have the normal business hangout happening here.
Does he have to click on the green
Okay,
BHO?
I think I've got it. I got it here now. Okay, so beside my name, oh yes,
Yeah.
gear wheel.
Yeah, click the gear wheel, and I think the very first thing says lower third on or off. Whichever way it is, click the gear now. See, it takes the default away. Now, if you had your Business Hangouts account set to load that, and you can set it automatically to load your lower third when you come in, then you wouldn't have seen the default one at all. It would just have had yours up on the screen.
Right, understood. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the main thing with this new one is that whereas before there were definite sizes that for the graphics that you needed for each thing, I mean the comment background used to be 640 by 320, and I mean that was a cut and dried size. Yeah. And the over thing was 1280 by 720, and that was a cut and dried size. Because they were doing this new responsive thing, it switches so much. You sort of have to play with it. I played almost a day before I got something that I was satisfied with. But,
I seem to have lost the BHO. When I click on BHO, I get business hangout about business hangouts version 1.1506.1. I don't know how to.
okay, go up to the very top. Is the current Hangout? Is that green? or are you still in the planner?
Oh, current Hangout is gray.
Okay, click on it. It'll bring you right back into this current Hangout.
Oh, okay. And I have a question about that. What was that? The version that was at the bottom of that screen share.
Uh-huh.
What version should we be using?
Well, it depends on what you want. If you want to use the old version, and like if you don't like all the colored bubbles in the chat, and you don't want to go through the switching of designing new artwork and everything, you can still use the old version. It'll work. Yeah. It just depends. It's strictly your choice.
And old version is Oh, I see what you're saying. That I wouldn't have the colored unified chat and.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be like it was before, And I don't know how long that's going to stay available. I mean, at some point, I can't see them keeping it forever. At some point, only the new one will be. Because they're not forcing you to change right away unless you want to. So, and if everybody's pretty much okay with that, we can go on to the actual setting up.
I got one quick question.
Okay.
How do you revert back to the default lower third?
John, I don't know.
I got a feeling you can't, because I've been trying to.
Yeah. You could refresh and come back in and see what happens. That probably would do it.
You
but
mean
I don't
go out
know,
of the Hangout and come back in?
And come back in. Yeah, I don't know a way to do that.
Okay.
Any other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to try it? We'll wait for you. You can be our test guinea pig.
Yep, I'll go out. It'll be a minute. Remember, because if you go out, you got to wait a minute to come back in.
Yeah, you got to wait a minute. Yeah, we won't cover anything new till you get back.
What does that mean to go out? What do you actually do? Hang up?
No, yep. No. You hit the F5 key.
Oh. But on a Mac, is it still F5?
Well, I don't know whether it's F5, but it's whatever you do to refresh your screen, to refresh the browser.
So can I go up in the browser and click that round to refresh?
I know nothing about Mac. I know.
Yeah,
I mean in Chrome.
That's the way I do it on my PC, is that little 3/4 round circle arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll refresh your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Well, John is back.
Yeah, it let me right back in.
Okay, now go up.
And it did. I can see just looking at myself in the film strip, it reloaded my default one. So.
Okay.
Okay, but when I went out on F5, it just did that little, the little timer that Business Hangouts has, that little circle. It did that, and it brought me right back in, but it put me in a regular Hangout. I had to click on the Business Hangout icon to get back into business.
Yeah, once you leave Business Hangouts, then if you come back, you always have to click the Business Hangout icon again. It won't bring you back into the Business Hangout thing. You have to do that manually. So, I guess the next thing is, hang on, John, I'm going to pin you again. Oh, drat. I keep trying to white box you instead of...
Cameraing me?
Yes, instead of camera-ing you. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to screen share. And where is our... Oh. Okay. I didn't open it up. Oh, I know what we do. We look at planner. Cancel. Hang on. All right, we're going to say planner.
Has somebody got a fan blowing on their mic?
Oh, when I leaned over, I leaned right into my fan, yes.
Good. No problem. You're the boss. You do what you want.
Oh, all right. Now, okay. Now let's try to the screen.
Andrew, when I'm talking, should I see myself in the big screen?
No, you should never see yourself in the big screen.
Yeah, but when she's talking, I'm seeing her in the big screen. You two are going back and forth.
Yeah, it should. It should be that. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't there a way if I want to produce a show, I can choose which camera, who's on?
If you are the host,
Okay.
you get to choose what's on the big screen and being broadcast out and recorded on YouTube, but you have to be the host to do that. You can change your view. You can put anybody to the big screen by highlighting the camera by their name, but you'll be the only one that's seeing them on the big screen. It won't affect what we see. Okay, I can't. How would I get over if I wanted to go? Let me take this down a minute. Go over here. All right, then we go to events. Okay, now we come back over here and we say share, screen share, and okay, and now we say this, and now we do this, and now we do this, and now we present to everyone. That's not supposed to happen. You are supposed to be seeing.
The colors are nice.
Thank you, John. You're supposed to be seeing the plan an event thing. And I was certain that I had it. All right, let's stop this and start all over again. All right, we've got that. We've got that pulled up. We say a screen share, and that is the screen share that we want to get. So we say share. And it's not sharing what I want it to share. Darn it. Why is it not doing that? Okay, everybody, if you'll go into your planner, we'll do it this way. I'm going to come out of screen share. Okay, if you go into the planner, the first screen you see is plan an event, says date and time. It's all self-explanatory. You enter your subject. Now, I will give you a clue. Don't make your subject line too long, because eventually that will get you in trouble when it goes to YouTube. Keep it short. Try and keep it 40 characters or less. These shows that start with hashtag, this is an interview with Dr. Benjamin Kafuta Hudson at, Central City Hospital in Minneapolis, Minnesota on March 4th, 1975. Well, all that's not going to show up in the title on YouTube. All you're going to wind up with a bunch of dots. Keep it short, keep it succinct, but let them know exactly what the subject is. Remember, you've got a short description. You can put all the rest of that stuff in. It all does not have to go into the title. Okay? Then you've got a short description. And that short description is usually 200 words. You get over that, particularly in the new Hangout, and you start creating problems, well, not problems, but visual things. If it goes over 200 characters, what it does is on this new big screen, it'll take like 7 lines of text, but you've got to be careful where your line breaks are, because if you go over 200, it'll create a scroll bar in the middle of your thing, and you have to scroll down to see the rest of the text. There's a way that you can get around that, and I'll show you that when we get over onto the customization on the 3rd tab. But for now, you just put in some short description just so you know what you're doing, because you can change any of this up until the time you actually hit the start broadcast button. Nothing is set in stone until then. So you do your date and time. Be sure that the time zone is correct for your time zone. That will automatically convert the time to whoever receives the thing to their time zone. And just for those of us in the central time zone, both in North and South America, it gets tricky because the South American Central Time changes not the same time as the Northern Time Zone does. I made that mistake. When I was setting up once, I set up and I saw Central Time and I clicked Central Time, Yeah, Central Time, Chihuahua, Mexico, not Nashville, Tennessee. So everybody was getting to my hangout at a time that I was not ready for them to. According to them, I was an hour late for my own hangout. According to
Yeah,
me, I was right on time.
we don't observe daylight savings here, so we don't actually change the time, whereas you do.
Ah, okay.
That's why.
Okay. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew that there was something because and then when I went actually into the time zone thing, they got a whole table. It's just that I picked the first one. There were like three different ones. Okay, but I didn't know that when I hit it the first time. So we'll give this thing a title. We'll call it RR right now. We'll give it a description. We'll set it Central Time Zone. You can use the little drop down menu. You can choose which one. Show more options. Here's where you can get interesting. You can you want to set it for a non-recurring event, or you can set up recurring events, daily, weekly, or monthly. The recurring events we will cover in the 5th week. I'm doing a whole show on just them. So right now we're going to leave it as non-recurring event. Password, I don't know of anybody that passwords your stuff. Now, if you were doing this and had some sort of pay situation to set up, you might want to use it. But as far as I know, nobody ever does. If you want to start your Hangout as a page, you have to put in your Google page ID there.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Started as a page.
Instead of using your profile, if you're going to start it up as a page, a Google page.
As a Google Plus on my Google Plus page.
Yes.
What about doing it from a website? If I want to do it embedded in a website.
No. Embedding is something different.
Okay.
This is if you are planning a Hangout.
What visual difference will I see, Andrew, whether I open as my profile or as I open as my Bill Does Belize page?
I'm sorry, Bill, I didn't hear all that.
What difference will it make to the actual business Hangout whether I use my profile or I use my business page?
Okay, as you may or may not know, business pages have certain restrictions.
Okay.
Profiles can do certain things that pages cannot do. I don't play with pages, so I don't know exactly what they are. If you want to know about particularly using business Hangouts with pages, Heather Crafter's the girl to talk to because she runs her weekly shows with business Hangouts, and she's in as the page rather than as Heather Crafter. She's in as Craft Shack. So she would be the one that will be able to.
Yeah, is that a public HOA she does, or is that just for her private community?
It's a. As far as I know, it's public.
Okay.
She used to do it for just her private community, but now I think she actually does it for the public because every Monday for her Monday meanderings and her Tuesday shows, because she doesn't do a Google Plus event page, I do a separate reminder post to invite people to go over. So I'm pretty sure it's a public.
Okay, yeah. So for all intents and purposes, you probably should just use your profile.
Yeah, you'll run into less problems. Not only, in business Hangouts, but just generally, pages cause more problems than profiles do, no matter what you try to do. I mean, that's just the way pages are. Yeah. So, and then you you have to bring. You might need your mic or something. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Plus Word is done from Google Page, right? That game you guys play on Friday night?
No. Michael sets it up as his profile.
Oh, we just see it. Well, I see it as a Google Plus page. Is that a different thing than what you're talking about?
Yeah. So you're talking about the event page. We're talking about your business page. If you've got a business page set up on your Google account, rather than a Google profile.
A business page is different from a Google Plus page.
Well, if you say Google Plus meaning a business page, they're the same. If you say Google Plus meaning a Google Plus event page, they're different.
Oh, I never. Okay.
See, event pages have nothing to do. They can be set up with a Google profile or a Google or your business page Google account.
Everybody gets a profile page when they register a Google account.
Okay.
If you want to create a business page, that's separate from your profile page. Okay? I run my business stuff off my profile page because it's just too much of a hassle to do it off the business page. But some people, like Heather, she runs the Craft Shack off of that business page she has, so she funnels her traffic for all that stuff to the business page, right, Andrew?
Mm-hmm. And to her website, yeah.
That's similar to what happened to me. I started out doing a lot of personal stuff, and then when I decided to use Google Plus for business, I didn't really want that personal stuff dragged into the business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, but if you have not gone in and actually set up a business page or pages for yourself, don't worry about them. You don't have one.
Well, I think I might have the reverse problem. I didn't know that there's a profile, and then within the profile you can have pages, right? And I started setting up all these pages and didn't know where I was at. It was so confusing. So, isn't that right? You have a profile, and then
And once you've got a everybody gets a profile. Then you can set up a business page. You can set up. I think you get a maximum of 50 pages.
Okay, that's where I'm at.
But I mean, it's always. I mean, I can understand why if you're doing business as a business, you would want it. But still, I just, unless you're a big business, I would want to be, even if I had a personal business, I would want people to know me.
Okay.
That they're doing business with me. It just seems, like I've got a grocery store up the street. It's Benson's Market. I don't do business with Benson's Market. I do business with Richard Benson. He owns the thing, or will until he's getting ready to sell it. I'm going to lose my grocery store. But it's just a personal preference, But I personally, my opinion, if you want to be as hassle-free as possible, stay as far away from pages as possible. Now you'll get people that hold other opinions, but that's not.
I think you're right. That's been driving. That's one reason why I haven't done my Hangout, because I'm trying to decide where do I do it. Because I see personal stuff, and it's like I just got so confused.
I'll tell you what you need to do. You need to pick one profile and work with it. Forget you've got any of the others. Don't ever try and do anything with them. And if I'm not mistaken, you can go in and delete pages that are under your account.
Yeah,
now there may be stuff out there that you want to save before you do that, but you might want to look at doing that.
Thank you.
So we've got this first page, this last little check mark, add to my Google Calendar. I always check that. That way, every time I set up one, it's put on my Google Calendar. I run into it. It reminds me, especially if I set one up like the New Year's Eve party for 2017. I've got a Hangout scheduled that far out, and I've got it on my Google Calendar, just that, clicking that, you know. And I would suggest that you tell the people that you are going to be sending the invitations to, if you're going to have registration or having them log in, there is a thing that they can mark on their confirmation right at the top. It says add to my calendar. They click that. You can add it to your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar. Be sure and remind your people to do that. That way they won't miss anything. No, because you're always hearing people say, well, I don't know where the link is. If you add it to your calendar, you always know where the link is. You know. I'll go a step further. I've got a separate email folder. The minute I get an invitation or a confirmation, it goes in my confirmed events folder. As soon as the event is over, it comes out of there and it goes into my completed events folder. That way I always have the link to go back to any that I want to watch, or I know I can look down that folder list and see what's coming up for me. But that's just a email tip handling thing that I do. Once you get this first page set up, you save it.
Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
I think Lon had a question out there in
Oh,
the.
okay. Hang on, because I've got this thing covering up my chat. Okay. Scroll down. Isn't the plus of using a page that you can have more than one host? Yes, that is the major plus. Uh, it is also a plus if you're planning on doing a remote mobile hangouts, like Ronnie did at South by Southwest. Because as you know, mobiles can't be started. I mean, Hangouts can't be started for mobiles. Yes, they can, but it's to do it, so don't try. Uh, and they got to be started from a desktop or a laptop. So what you do is if you have a page, you can assign up to 50 managers. You get two people. When Ronnie went to South by Southwest, a whole bunch of us got together, and we took shifts, hourly shifts. We'd have the main person to start the hangout. We had a backup person come in at the same time in case the main person fell out. There was still somebody there to start the hangout, and then they would invite Ronnie in, and then he could do his mobile thing down in Austin. That is one of the main pluses of having a page. That way, if you're in the middle of a hangout and one host drops out, the other page is right there, pick it up, and can keep the thing going. You know, it's really important if you're going to be doing like major stuff. Like if you're producing a show for somebody, for some event or something, and you want to be sure, especially if you have iffy bandwidth, connection may be a problem. My suggestion is then yes, use a page and check out your managers, have them check their bandwidth, because it doesn't do any good to have managers in there if their bandwidth isn't pretty solid. Because you drop out, they've got iffy bandwidth, they take over and they drop out, then you're sunk. Yeah.
So is that probably why Heather uses the pages? Because she's got those those other people that help her manage the show?
No, it came about more because she and Debbie, they were using at that time, Heather wasn't even using business hangouts. She was using regular hangouts, but she was coming in because they wanted both of them in, and Debbie was like producing the show. So they used pages so they could both be in basically under the same account, so that Debbie could be doing the producing stuff and everything while Heather was actually doing the artwork, and they had two separate cameras going and the whole thing. And then because quite frankly, at first Heather didn't like business hangouts that much. That's when we developed the community-centered HOA project that Debbie and Heather and I worked on, about getting everything to come back into the community. And then she set up her webpage and her store, and then she's gone on to using business hangouts and everything. But she got started as a page Just, yeah, basically because she needed somebody else in with her to do the producing stuff while she was actually doing the artwork stuff. Yeah.
So if I embed my Hangout in my website, I can still have the host, other people helping to host it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cause basically all you're doing is you're embedding it on your website. You don't lose any functionality at all by embedding. You know, all it's doing is it's producing it on your site. You know, so they say on your website, and then they can go to shopping, or you could put a link to a different section of your website into the chat that they could click on. Like if you wanted to say, oh, by the way, in the next 10 minutes, I'm having a sale on iridescent paints. Click on this website and go over and order real quick. And if your order is placed within 10 minutes, you get a 15% discount. You could throw that into the chat. They could click that link, go over, buy the paint from your thing, close that because it would open in a separate window. Close that, and then they're right back into the chat. Yeah.
Andrew, on the plan and event page, where it says pre-event opening, okay? Now, is that the green room?
Okay, pre-event opening, that means when somebody can get into, like you and Prima got in here and left messages.
Right.
Okay, that's what that is. When the event is open, the people can come in and leave messages in the chat, basically is what that is.
Okay.
Okay, so you can start it now, or you can start it, when you set it up, if you schedule something way far ahead, like for Christmas, you could set it up so that the pre-event opening, you could set it to open on December 1st. Okay. So nobody could get in until then, but then starting on December 1st, they could go in and start leaving messages in the chat and whatnot. I always set mine up to pre-event opening starts the minute I set up the event. They can start coming in then. I don't always publish the link then so that people know there's something that they can come into yet. But I always start it now, and I always leave it unlimited so that they can always go back to it and see the whole thing.
Right. And so if you wanted to limit the post-event closing, then you could.
Right. You can you could leave it up for Now you can only leave it. I think you can only. There's something about it too. It's been so long since I did it, but I set up a 2-week event. It was a multi-day event. It was supposed to start on the 1st and end on the 15th. And then because you could only run the event for 14 days straight, you can't run it over that. But then on the 7th, I went in. And because it was the 7th, I extended the 15th out to the 22nd. And then every week I kept extending it. I ran one event for 6 weeks straight.
Okay.
That was in July of last year when Michael and I were torture testing this thing. We bent this thing in ways that was never meant to be used, I don't think. We tried everything under the sun on it. Yeah.
Including that great moment where 2 Hangouts were running at once.
Yes, that was. We're still not quite sure how that happened. Okay, I mean, one person in each Hangout, and yet they could talk and hear each other. It was just weird.
So in the post-event closing, if I leave it unlimited and I'm the host, and you come in 3 days after the Hangout, do I get a notification that you came in?
I believe that is set up where you can or cannot get a notification.
Okay.
You won't get let's put it this way. You won't get a notification that somebody came in. But if you leave a message in the unified chat, they will get a notification. They'll get that message.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what I meant.
Yeah. If somebody, like when you and Prima came in earlier and put those messages in the chat, I got email that y'all had left that message. So yeah, in that respect, yeah, you will get a Ronnie Bencher air quote notification.
Okay.
So,
That
so
was
if,
for Michael's benefit.
so if I set that to now, can I, like, my participants, can I bring them in at different times to rehearse, show them around?
As long as you don't hit the start broadcast button.
Okay, and then how do I get them in?
You use the little man up at, now you're not going to see it because you're not the host. But up at the top where you've got the microphone and the camera
Uh-huh.
and the gear wheel and everything, to the left of the microphone, if you're the host, is a little silhouette of a man with a plus sign. You click
Oh,
that, and it gives you a invite screen. You put their name and email address, or if you want to invite a small circle or whatever, and then you click that, and it sends them an invite, and they come in.
so are you seeing a lot of different things than we are as the host?
Well,
Is there more than just the that plus man or whatever it is?
well, yeah, I think so. Because like
Is
I've
there
got
is there a screenshot of the what the host sees anywhere, or I just have to go in and do it? Huh?
no, hang on, let me show you. Screenshot. Here we go. Let me do this. Let's say present to everyone. Okay, can you all see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, see here's the little man with the plus sign.
Okay, what we're seeing is we're seeing what I'm calling the event page.
It says interested in learning about Hangouts on air, user community.
You're not seeing above that? You're not seeing the Google
No.
logo up there?
Google's up at the top. It's your browser.
Yeah, over at the left it says Google, and then when you come straight across, above the white stuff, way up here.
No.
Well, there's like a double icon with two people, and then the Google Hangout icon.
Yeah, it's a quote mark, a Google thing. Then you've got the little man with the plus sign. Then you've got the microphone. Then you've got the
Andrew,
camera.
you're not showing the Hangout window you're in. You're showing your profile page.
Almost looks like the
Well,
community
how
page.
on earth is it? It's not supposed to be doing that. It's supposed to be. Well, we'll just close that profile page and see what happens.
Okay. Now here's what's interesting.
Okay, there.
I've got the little invite man at the top of my screen.
Yeah, but it won't work, right?
Right. I can't use it, but
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah. Okay. Are y'all seeing my screen now with everything?
No.
No.
I see you.
All right. Let's try this. All right. Hang on. Let me get. That's something else.
Now, do you know why you're seeing it?
Seeing the little man?
Yeah.
No, ma'am, I do not. I just know I am.
Okay. Screen share. Want to screen share this. All right. Why is that not so? All right, we're going. I know where you are, so we'll just close you down. Why is that not showing? I'm doing screen share and present to everyone. That is just so strange. All right, let's stop. Now, have I got anything open? Let me. Okay, there are no files open. This is the only thing open. So if I hit screen share, this should be the only thing that shows. All right. Now, you see my screen? It should be that echo effect thing.
Yep.
Okay. Now, see, here's the little man with the invite button right up at the top, right next to the microphone. And then you all have got all the rest of that. You all have got the unified chat and the participants and everything. You've got the planner. You've got all this. What you may or may not have is some of this stuff up here at the top of the unified chat.
Mm-hmm.
I can moderate the chat. I can turn it on or off so that if somebody makes a comment, I have to approve the comment before it's seen. That's one of the things that the host and or moderator can do. The next one is display highlighted messages. I think the moderators and the host can do that, but the regular viewers or panelists can't. The third one is display shared content. That would be, this thing's got a great feature. It's drag and drop. If I wanted to give you all a file of some type, all I would have to do is go over and find it in my drive, click on it, drag it across, drop it in this unified chat, and it would be available immediately for you to download. I wouldn't have to use a mail attachment or anything. It's just there. And the lovely part is it stays there. So after I close this out and somebody new came in later, they would have access to that document also. And then you can, I think everybody can export the chat history if I'm not mistaken. And then you got the little man with the raise my hand thing. But I don't even know that that's functional anymore or not.
In the participants window,
Uh-huh.
the camera and the gear, is that where you put the person in the big part of the screen?
Yeah, that's because I'm the host, whichever one I put on, whoever's camera I select, that's the picture that goes out to be recorded.
Okay.
If you click their camera, only you put them in your big screen, but nobody else has them in their big screen.
On the menu on the far left,
Uh-huh.
above the three dots,
Uh-huh.
there's a little yellow, red, blue man, three people.
Okay, that's Crowdcast. That's the Crowdcast app.
What is that?
That's that new app that everybody's talking about with the question and answer and the whole. It's another wrapper. It's like Business Hangouts or Webinar Jam.
Oh, that's what you and John were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's the only difference of what the host has.
I also see 24 tech support. So if you get in a jam, you can click on that right from the Hangout and get help.
Well, you can send help. It's not live help. All it does is open up an email thing so you can send an email to tech support.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is very helpful to see this. I've been reading and reading, and it's like, where are they seeing these things?
Yeah, it's a neat, really neat, well put together app in my opinion. I mean, it especially if you're using it for any type of business, because with the analytics and the customizable email, there are email clients for to send stuff out and everything, but this basically has got its own. People want to know if this connects up to lead pages or whatnot. If you've got a lead page account, go ahead and use it. But if you've got this, you really don't need lead pages. You can build your own complete mailing list and handle it. And because the emails, you not only can modify fields within them, you can wipe out the entire wording of one of their default mails, do your own wording from the get-go on a blank sheet of paper, and use it from then on for your mailing list, and that's it. Now, I will grant you that when you send it out, it does say that it comes from businesshangouts.com because you're on their domain. You're using their servers.
But You know, Andrew, if you use GoToMeeting or you use Zoom or you use Webinar Jam, it's the same thing. It
Yeah.
goes out like that too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And
Hey,
and are the emails stored in your? They're stored in your contacts, right? Your mailing list.
No, not unless you export them from here and put them in your mailing list.
BHO creates a list of people who have attended your.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It creates a whole name, address. I mean, the analytics are what is it? It's your first name, last name, email address, your phone number, your Skype ID number, what type of industry, your position. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on. As far as the analytics is concerned, and you can export it as a CSV file and then import it to any database that you want into your mailing list or what contact list or whatever. Yeah.
Andrew, question, and this is where I get confused. Okay. On planning an event. Okay, so now I plan an event. Okay. My Monday morning motivation, all right? And I'm going to do it through Business Hangouts, and I set all that up, and I go ahead and save. Do I still have to create an event page in Google?
If you want an event page in Google,
okay.
Yes.
All right, here's my next question. Then how do I invite the people in my circles to attend that Hangout?
Okay, what you do.
That's where I get confused.
Okay, what you do is go ahead, set up your event page. Set up your Google event page. Okay?
Okay.
You can put your details and everything in it. Under the comments, you put, there will be no video shown on this page. There will be no comments made on this page. Go to this link, and then you put the link to your business page. Then you disable comments on your Google event page, so nobody else can comment on it.
Okay.
So, and then when you do that, then you can send the notification. You can either send the business hangout link to your circle directly,
right,
or you can have them come to the Google Plus page to see the link to go. So you've got two ways that you can notify.
Right. Okay, I got you now.
That they get the link.
Right. So I can set up the event page and then just do a bit.ly and put the bit.ly for the Hangout page either in the event page or in the invitation.
Yeah. All right. Now, you wouldn't have to do a bit.ly because it's already done for you. Remember, when you set it up and save it, right at the top, you get that envelope with the shortener code on it. That would be the one that you post in. So it's already, you don't have to worry with going to bit.ly to create one. It's already
all right.
there.
Next question. When Michael does his Monday night chat, Tuesday night chat, Wednesday night chat, and it shows up in user to user. Okay. How does he get that to show up into user to user as a business? It's got the business hangout logo and everything else. How do you accomplish that?
He has a background for that event.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, that's the background for if he's using the business hangout thing. Okay. Otherwise, he's got just an image, and he uses the link and posts the image as the picture.
Okay.
And like me, I've got the bit.ly link for Thursday Tech Talk helping thing, and then I just throw the banner in with no words. You got to actually click the link. There's several different ways you can play with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, basically he's just got an image that serves as the link at the same,
Gotcha. That cleared that up.
Okay, now, is there anything else I need to screen share for? Anybody got any questions about it? If we don't, I'm going to stop screen sharing where I can get back and really see you people. And basically, we have covered that first setup page.
Okay.
Once you click that, and always remember to save it once you go through the whole thing of setting it up. Don't do like I did the other night, because I got it all done. Then I said, all right, now I've got it. Now I can go back and play with the email that I want to do. Well, I hadn't saved it, so I couldn't get the email, so I had to set the whole thing up again, because you can only go to that second email thing if you have completed and saved the first page. If you don't save it, it won't let you go to the email tab or the customization tab or the manage tab. You know, it's sort of foolproof like that, but it is disgusting to get it all worked out and go over to another page, come back, think you've saved it, try to go to the email, and you can't. Mm-hmm. And then you can't figure out at first why it's not letting you. Yeah. Okay. That is the overview, ladies and gentlemen. And it is 8:01. That's
thing on the 24-hour tech support.
Mm-hmm.
That's only available if you have the Pro plan. The free plan does not. On that little icon that says 24-hour tech support on the planning page. Okay, if you go to the planning page and down where it says 24/7 tech support,
mm-hmm.
if you click on it, it says it looks like you are under a standard plan. Technical support is reserved to subscribers under the Pro and above.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can go to the Friday Hangout.
Mm-hmm. Anybody can go there.
Right.
And anybody that has, I think, any of the paid plans.
Right.
Can go to their community.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, if you've got the free plan and need help, you can just run over to user.
Right.
And yell.
Right.
Because we're almost there 24 hours a day back. Yeah. So if nobody's got any...
I do have one question.
Okay, take off.
This might sound strange, but if I want to play with myself, is it better to do incognito or to play with my iPad and my cell phone?
Okay. You mean in a business, practice your business hangout thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I would not do incognito. Basically, what I'd do is I'd open one, start it, and then if you've got another account, you know, invite that account in and then bring them on the other thing.
You mean like another Gmail account?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, I know I'm not like a lot of people. I've got like, what, 17 Gmail accounts? But, yeah, I just open up under one, and then I send an invitation to the other, go over to one of my other computers, sign in on that Gmail thing, accept the invitation, and then I can come in. And because I'm coming in as another Gmail, then I can elevate myself up so that I can talk to myself in the participants thing, or I can leave one of them down as the viewer, and that way I get to see what the host sees and I get to see what the viewer sees. And that's real good, you know, because you can do something as a host and see how it affects, you know, the people and the viewer. And sometimes I even go so far as to sign in on one of my other computers with a third one and go over and watch what happens on the live YouTube. I'll watch one on YouTube, one on the Hangout itself, and then I'll have a third account in as a viewer in the Hangout watching the Hangout.
But the phone and the iPad are devices. They don't count as other machines, right?
Right, yeah. But you have to, the one that you start would have to be started from a desktop or a laptop. Mobile devices can join, they just can't start one, but they can join one. Like I say, I don't know Apple and I don't know tablets.
Well, for the sake of practicing, Andrew, you can still open a business hangout the way you could a standard one in private, can you not? And just not invite anyone other than yourself?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to do it, that's the way you do it. You go ahead and set it up. And then when you start it, you invite only yourself. Anytime it says invite, you put only your name and email in. Like when you're doing that first setup thing, you can either skip it and not invite anybody, or you can invite just yourself. If you invite just yourself, then it's going to be private, and you don't have to worry about people finding it. And of course, when you get over onto the fourth page, over onto the manage page, that's where you get to select public private anyway. It doesn't necessarily depend on who you invited in the beginning. You can always take care of it at the end. But yeah, basically just start one, invite myself, and that way I know that it's private. And if I want to set up an event, I've got a private community that I'm the only member of, and I go over and I set up that event within that community. That guarantees that only members of that community are going to see it, and since I'm the only one there, that doubly ensures that it's not going to be found by anybody else.
Right. And then as long as you hit broadcast, it will record whatever you do, and it will upload it to YouTube. Like if I wanted to do some kind of tutorial, I could still use a business hangout, and it would do all of the normal stuff.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, there is an app that I use quite frequently, and it's not good for using for screenshots or doing any type of presenting any type of material or anything. But if you're just going to be doing a lecture or a monologue of some sort, it is great, it's quick, and it records direct to your computer. You don't have to upload it to YouTube or anything unless you want. It's called 123 app.
Okay.
And it's got a video recorder thing. It brings up the little thing on screen. It's just real easy to use, and you don't have to worry with the whole thing of starting a hangout and everything. I mean, you just one button, you click the thing, you click what mic you want, what speakers you want, and go.
Okay.
In fact, some of the introductory videos that I've done on some of these that you may have seen, with the little bitty square video that plays beforehand, that's what I used to produce those. Those weren't done using Google Hangouts at all.
Okay.
So,
because I know the night I joined you and Michael in one of these business hangouts, I actually had the screen broken into four. It showed me the live screen. It showed me a screen where content could be loaded up to. It showed me a picture of the audience, not the real audience, but you know what I mean.
The four quadrant view. Yeah.
Why am I not seeing that tonight? Is it just the way I'm in here, or?
Well, you can, if you notice, up above, now I'm not sure because of your resolution, either across the top or down the side, there's going to be some icons. There'll be like 4 arrowheads. If you do that, it'll expand to as full size as you can get. The chat will go away and the participants list will go away. It'll be only the big picture. And then next to that, there's one that looks like 4 little window panes. That's the one you're talking about. If you click that, it'll show the thing.
Yeah, I've got it now.
Yeah, and then if you click the other one of them is the auditorium and the other one's the map. And then the screen with the arrow jumping out of it, that's the shared content thing in the upper right hand. And then, of course, the silhouette is us like this, like I've got mine on silhouette. I rarely use the 4 quadrant thing.
Okay.
So I clicked on the 4 thing. How do I get out of it?
The 4 arrowheads?
No, the one next to it where I got the 4 square, the grid.
Okay, you just click up one of the other icons.
Oh, okay.
You probably want the man at the bottom, I believe.
The man at the bottom?
Well, it makes, I don't know whether they run up and down or back and forth across the top of the video. Like mine is across
Oh,
the
yeah,
top.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Well, I'm ready to retire to Belize.
okay. Bye. Yeah, my niece is going to Honduras in 2 years, and we're trying to decide whether to go with her or not.
What's the attraction to Honduras, if you don't mind my asking?
Her church has they sort of adopted one of the villages down there. This past year they go down once every 6 months and help them build houses. This past trip they repaired their water tower and everything. And one of the people at the church they've got a clinic that they're getting ready to open. And she said there's no problem with getting doctors to rotate in and out, but they need a on-site administrator there all the time. And so Jennifer's going to school to learn how to, among other things, speak Spanish and all that. She's going down in 2 years. And, she went down, this last time she went down, she picked up the property she wants. And they're trying to get funds together to build her a house and, the whole thing. It's pretty nice.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. Well, actually, first I have to find the broadcast button. There it is. I enlarged my screen.